Hey Butterfly Beauties, so I'm here with my first Project Life layout. I've never done a Project Life, and I'm on the PR team for So Fabulously Creative Designs. She has an Etsy shop. She also has a YouTube channel, and one of the assignments we had was to create a Project Life layout, and the one thing I was not prepared for was I don't have the Project Life sleeves. And I've never done one. And it was to tell to give kind of a little journey description, about self-love. She has a Love Your Selfie series going on. And you need to check out my Instagram as well as hers and some of the other ladies from Instagram. I will eventually update everyone's information in the description box below so that you can see that. But I decided to not only just post the photo of the layout on Instagram, but to do a video. And I know you're not seeing me, you're looking at this flower from my bedspread, but to kind of tell you a little bit about the background to this layout. I am, if you can remember what I look like, I am a plus size girl. I've always been a big girl, even when I wasn't quote unquote fat. Society said I was fat, because I wasn't a, size 2 or 4, more power to those of you who are, lucky you. I've always been big. I've always been taller than everyone else. Well, that was when I was younger. Now I'm not. As puberty hit, I stopped growing. Everyone else kept growing. But I was taller than everyone else. When I was younger, I had chests. I came into boobs and hips and butt way before everyone else. So I was always the odd man out. What I know now in my dear late age is that I wasn't fat then, but then I just kind of grew and grew and grew and grew. And just over time, I just became super obese. And according to BMI scales and all that good stuff, because I never got on the scales. Because anytime I went to the doctor, one thing when you're a plus size woman, no matter what is wrong with you, they always say it's because you're fat. Always. It could be, I've got a cold, it's because you're fat. My foot hurts, you're fat. You could seriously have something wrong with you and it's because you're fat. I'm not saying that because I'm fat didn't contribute to some of the things, but that wasn't always the answer. So I stopped just even worrying about going to a doctor. But 2.5 years ago, I got to the point where the walking, or as my mom would say, my waddling, was so bad that I couldn't walk. I literally was traveling for work in Dallas and I couldn't walk more than 2 or 3 steps without being in excruciating pain. And I decided to make a life choice that I liked myself. I always felt like, there's that horrible saying, I will say it is horrible, they will say, she's pretty for a fat girl. I used to tell myself, well, I am a decent dresser for a fat girl. You would not catch me in elastic pants. I felt I had a little bit of fashion sense for a big girl. And I liked myself. I can't say that I didn't like myself. I've been always by myself, so I had to like myself, if you will. So then I decided that I was going to make some choices and some decisions in my life because I could not continue anymore. When it got to the point where I couldn't walk, to walk was bad, I had to say, okay, enough is enough of the mess. No more of, hey, if you don't like it, don't look at me. No more of, I am fat. No more of dealing with people treating me differently because I was fat. I was done with that, and, tired of fighting people who were trying to say that that was not true, that we are not treated differently. People don't act differently to plus size people, because I lived it every day, and I experienced it, you know, firsthand, that yes, I was treated differently, seen differently, in some cases just tolerated. And it got to the point, like I said, it wasn't really about that. It was about my own personal health and thinking, okay, I can be fat and I can waddle and, you know, with the best of them. And, but when it got to the point of, okay, you can't walk 2 or 3 steps without being in pain enough, you know, you've got to stop it. So that was kind of that long story to show you, this layout. So here's the layout. I have it on, pink polka dot, as you can see, scrapbook paper, and I'm using the embellishments from So Fabulously Creative. The only things are these 2 journal cards were not from her Etsy shop. I don't even remember where I got these journal cards from. They were in my cart, so, you know, I've got a lot of different craft items, so who knows. But let me kind of get in a little bit closer. So this was me back in 2012. And one of my mom's favorite dress, for me to be in one of these favorite dresses. I like the old school, and I like to call it mod, but I like the old fashioned kind of clothing. I like the cut, that type of thing. And it actually took me a while to want to put this on, because I stayed away from purple, because I was like, you put purple on, I look like Barney, and I was not having that. But I love this dress, so it made me feel pretty. I liked it, so I bought it, and this was back in 2012. So my journey started out, you know, 2.5 years ago, but I think that this picture really talked about, you know, put into a visual what I was talking about, being a plus size girl, and I thought I had a little sense of style, you know. And here's where the card made perfect sense. I really, really like you. I did. I liked myself back in 2012 when I was morbid obese, but I didn't love your selfie. So I didn't love myself. You know, I knew all of the things that I was going through, emotionally, physically. So I wasn't in love with myself, and it was hard sometimes to have people understand what I was going through, because most of my friends are thin. You know, the one thing I can say was I was that girl to tell you I would not be your fat friend. I refuse. So you're not going somewhere with me, and I'm going to be your purse holder, and I'm not going to be the one you got running around, and, you know, where they call it the DUF, the designated ugly fat friend or something like that. I wasn't having that. You know, my esteem was never that low that I felt like I just had to be completely tolerated by people, and I just wasn't going to be that person. So again, I liked myself then, but I wasn't in love with myself. I'm going to be honest. And so here is a recent picture, and here I am in 2016, and I say now, after some life choices and changes, I can shine bright like a diamond. I'm still a plus size girl by all accounts, but I'm no longer in the morbid obese category. I still have, like, I think 70 pounds to lose, but, you know, the thing is, I can walk, y'all. I can walk more than 2 or 3 steps. I was doing really good with walking for the longest, and I've fallen back from that, so I do need to go back to walking, because I don't ever want to experience that again. But this is my project life. Hopefully I did a decent job in understanding the concept of project life. I don't have anything as far as a journey for the week. I wanted to display the journey of going from liking yourself to loving yourself. There really is a difference in liking yourself and loving yourself. I will tell you, I'm not 100% there. I am totally still working on it. It's an everyday thing for me, and even just coming to terms with people and how they see me and how they talk to me, how they approach me, how they interact with me, in knowing that, you know, what I went through then and what I'm going through now, and just kind of coming into my own. A little bit of that is just with getting older, becoming a grandmother, you know, just life happening, really makes you kind of really look at things. So I don't want to ramble too much in this particular video. Again, I just kind of wanted to show this layout and give some background to why this came about and why I put this together. So I put here, you know, shine and love your selfie, because I am working there to shine bright like a diamond and to love myself. It is still a journey. It is still a work in progress. But it's there. It's definitely not the same. You have to learn to love yourself. You know, ladies, don't just like yourself. You have to love yourself. And sometimes we make choices and decisions that other people can't understand, and sometimes we go through things that people cannot understand. And I definitely had friends who just could not understand who this girl was. They just had no idea who she was. Didn't understand what I was going through. You know, they were positive, you know, but there were things that I couldn't do at the particular point. And there's just people who've never been as heavy as I've been, don't understand all of the life and the many nights that I'd cry at night. But again, here is the woman I am today, and I'm working on loving myself. So I will see you, Butterfly Beauties, in another video. Remember that a butterfly is something that people may see as ugly, and as before it becomes a butterfly, you know, it is a caterpillar. It is not seen as a beautiful thing. It hibernates and it goes into its cocoon and it turns into something very beautiful. And the hibernation, and while it's in the cocoon, it is invisible to the world. But in that time frame, you are, that caterpillar is becoming something beautiful because it's discovering who it is truly inside. And kind of where the whole butterfly thing came from in my love of the butterfly is because it is something that people don't pay attention to. Caterpillars, they definitely don't pay attention when it goes into a cocoon, and it becomes that invisible. And I felt that way for so long, and then you become something beautiful. So here is where I really started to go into that cocoon in 2012, and I am this butterfly. I'm not flourishing completely, but I will continue to fly. So, bye.